So on stage, you want to transfer your message to your audience. And that means that you have one goal and one goal only, which is to create an emotional experience that you can share with your audience. Because when they receive that, they can understand and retain your message much better. So now I want to share 2 concrete strategies with you for better storytelling. And that is texture and the story arch. And remember how that ties in with what Jimmy just told you in the previous lecture. Let's talk about texture first. You want to make the experience of your story very vivid. You want them to live this experience together with you. And there's an expert at this. When I was much younger, I read a book called Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. I encourage you to look him up and actually get that book to discover what real storytelling feels and looks like. Now, John Steinbeck is an expert at creating these vivid experiences. So you would enter the story of the protagonist, and rather than just read it or be there with them, you would actually dive into their world and experience every single emotion, every single sound, and just be right next to the character. Now that is a huge thing, because then whenever the character makes a new discovery or makes a new thought, that's when you're right there, and that's when the message gets conveyed. The second strategy is the story arch. Now you might have heard of this strategy before. The main thing is that you craft your story in a way that it is kind of like a journey. And it works like this. There's 5 components to it. And you start off with introducing the hero, the mentor, the person that guides you through the story. Every story has a protagonist, and that's when you meet them. The second is that you make a discovery. The audience, of course, makes that discovery with you, and that's when they become interested in what the life of the protagonist looks like. The third aspect is to engage the audience. You want them to kind of partake in the experience, because that's when they become active, and that's when they feel like they're in it with you. And then the fourth part is a gift. So you transfer something to the audience, and it doesn't have to be a physical gift. It is something that you give to them, almost like a piece of knowledge or an insight that they can take home and that they can include in their life. And fifth and last, what you do is you give them an outlook. The outlook is kind of the what does that mean in their lives, right? So you transfer the meaning of the story to their context. And this is when the story arch is complete. So remember, the texture and the story arch make your storytelling so much better.